It looks as though Luke McCaffrey is climbing the Washington Commanders' depth chart. The Philadelphia Eagles announced on Thursday that they had acquired 2 seventh-round selections and a third-round pick in the 2025 draft from the Commanders in exchange for wide receiver Jahan Dotson and a fifth-round pick in 2025. After Washington used a third-round pick this year to choose Christian McCaffrey's brother, the outstanding running back for the San Francisco 49ers, Dotson was expected to be among the wide receivers fighting for playing time with McCaffrey. Dotson's departure from the team makes Luke McCaffrey much more interesting in fantasy football. This is particularly true for players wanting to target mid-round rookies in dynasty drafts held prior to the season. Without a doubt, Terry McLaurin is the best wide receiver in Washington to target in fantasy football. However, McCaffrey's recent roster makeover is a big part of the reason fantasy football players are taking notice of him. Last season, Curtis Samuel was the second leading receiver for the team. He is currently with the Buffalo Bills. Dotson, who is currently with the Eagles, was the third leading receiver. Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback, is lacking a wide receiver target, and McCaffrey might be able to provide it. Ultimately, prospective backup targets like Jamison Crowder and Olamide Zaccheaus don't exactly shout Justin Jefferson and Ja'Marr Chase come 2024. In the first preseason game against the New York Jets, the rookie had 2 receptions for 25 yards. And in the second game against the Miami Dolphins, he had 2 receptions for 30 yards. The NFL game moves quickly, so he's getting used to it. On Sunday against the New England Patriots, he'll have more experience. That's not to imply that McCaffrey should suddenly be a risky early pick for fantasy gamers in traditional drafts. He didn't play against Rice's top opponents and is still a raw rookie. However, even the chance that he finishes behind McLaurin as Washington's top wide receiver this season makes him a late-round gambler. His rookie status makes him a potential long-term weapon for dynasty players, and he offers a significantly greater ceiling than most players picked late in the draft. Without Dotson, McCaffrey has a higher immediate ceiling, which adds to his genuine fantasy football value. In his first 2 seasons with the Commanders, Dotson, who was selected with the 16th overall choice in the 2022 NFL Draft, has fallen short of expectations, despite recording 84 receptions for 1,041 yards and 11 touchdowns. Reporter Ari Mirov pointed out that the transaction inside the division was the result of signs of dissatisfaction between Dotson and the Commanders. With Dotson gone, Washington's offense is slated to be led by 4th-year pro Dyami Brown and rookie Luke McCaffrey. Dotson is now headed back to Pennsylvania, where he attended Penn State for his collegiate career. On Thursday Night Football, November 14th, he will take on his old club. After a few trades already this month, the Falcons acquired Matthew Judon from the Patriots when the 2 teams couldn't agree on a new contract. ESPN analytics writer Seth Walder and national NFL analyst Ben Salak are ranking the biggest deals of August. Most recently, Washington, a division opponent, traded Jahan Dotson to the Eagles. Walder and Salak evaluate movements according to a number of criteria, such as the impact on the field, salary cap ramifications, draft compensation, player age and value, and the overall context of a team's short and long-term prospects, in order to provide each grade. Let's get started, and remember to return throughout the month as more trade dominoes fall. The story of Washington's inability to develop Dotson is as old as history: weak organizational direction, inept quarterbacks, and shifting coaching staffs. Dotson was employed by the Scott Turner offense in 2022 as an outside receiver on deep to intermediate routes. Although he had a low volume and a poorer catch rate, his quarterbacks were Taylor Heinicke and Carson Wentz. When the ball did come his way, he tore off explosives and demonstrated separation. Something appeared to be there. However, Dotson struggled when new offensive coach Eric Bieniemy started him in the slot in 2023. Dotson's YAC over expectation of -29 was worse than every receiver in the league bar one, indicating that he lacked the reliable hands and after-the-catch creativity of an NFL slot. Sam Howell, the new quarterback, soon stopped focusing on Dotson, and he started to drop down the depth chart. Under Cliff Kingsbury, Dotson's third offensive coordinator in 3 years, that decline continued this summer. Strong outside receivers who can beat press coverage and win against the sideline are needed for Kingsbury's air raid-inspired approach, as are slot receivers who can break tackles on screens, still not Dotson. Last week, head coach Dan Quinn publicly stated that the team was still searching for a WR2, and Dotson himself added, "DQ didn't draft me." Every year, you have to establish yourself in your line of work. It is up to you to demonstrate your value and abilities. That's my goal right now. Dotson will now attempt to establish his worth in Philadelphia, but he will have a difficult time doing it. The Eagles acquired a number of dart throwers to the position this summer, including rookies Johnny Wilson and Aeneas Smith and veterans Devontae Parker, who has since retired, Paris Campbell, and John Ross. This indicates that the team is certainly eager in developing at WR3. Because WR3 hasn't played a significant part in this offense over the last 2 seasons, the position is quite weak. The Eagles' top 3 pass catchers, Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith, and A.J. Brown, led the league in target share for their individual clubs in 2022 and 2023. Put another way, the Philly trio received a higher percentage of the team's total targets than any other top 3 targets. Even with rookie quarterback Drake May having a stellar season, New England is aware of its current status as a rebuilding non-contender with an offense that isn't good enough to compete. It makes more sense for a team like that to turn 32-year-old Juden into a future draft asset rather than just running out the clock on his Patriots career rather than paying him after he returns from an injury,